Hello, and welcome to my presentation on the history of disc golf. Okay, so disc golf is a very old sport, one that has had its roots all the way back to ancient Greece and is one of my personal favorite sports. I have spent a lot of time playing disc golf outside, and I think it's a great way for people to spend time outdoors with the people that they like to be with and spend time in nature as well as playing a sport and enjoying time. So, disc golf has grown throughout the years, and while many people may see it as a joke sport, I believe it's very fun and anyone can enjoy it. So, I'd like to educate you all on the history of disc golf, how it's developed through the years, where it is now, and how you could play disc golf yourself. So, let's get into it. The history of disc golf is pretty old and very fascinating. It dates back all the way to the ages of ancient Greece, anytime someone threw a discus. Discus were ceramic plates that people would throw trying to reach maximum distance. And that was basically the invention of the frisbee. Now it has developed throughout the years to the point where the old frisbee has become back in the early 1900s, the frisbee developed into basically a plastic dish. It actually developed from what some people believe was a pie shop called Frisbee Pies, which would spend time throwing around their empty pie trays after baking pies, which is just an interesting history fact for disc golf. Um, the Professional Disc Golf Association has a good article on the history of disc golf, as well as Britannica.com, both discussing how disc golf started and where it developed over time. The important dates of disc golf were around the 1970s, where disc golf actually started to develop into its own sport. People began professionally throwing frisbees, trying to reach maximum distance, and I believe in 1976, there was a competition held for who could throw the disc the furthest, aiming at a target, which was almost essentially the invention of disc golf, throwing discs at targets for long distance. So, disc golf eventually developed, and a man by the name of Steadyhead Edric developed the first ever disc golf basket, which is used for the sport. So, the disc golf basket was essentially a very important invention because it allowed for people to throw discs into baskets, having them caught and essentially serving as the same as a golf hole. Before this, people were using like metal poles stuck in the ground trying to hit metal poles. And since then, people have further developed baskets to where they're modern day, and there's actually several companies making them. So the invention of the disc golf basket was one of the most important inventions, and it was around 1976 that was invented. Disc golf baskets allowed for further invention of the game, allowed for better courses, and eventually disc manufacturing built up over time to the point where it was able to match modern day equipment. That's one really interesting thing with disc golf is that it has developed alongside frisbees, and as frisbees grow better, so does the sport. So the sport continued growing until eventually the Professional Disc Golf Association was founded, which allowed for professional competition between players, serving a same role as the PDGA, and eventually growing the sport to the point where there were professional competitions, people would play for money, and eventually competition would grow to the point where it would eventually grow worldwide. There are now courses all over the world. America is the most populous place to play disc golf, and the second closest is Norway, I believe. So disc golf has grown all around the world to the point where it is now, and the Professional Disc Golf Association played a massive part in doing that, as they would allow for professional competition, a standardized rule set, and limitations on what was legal and what was not within the game. And as the sport continued to grow, more people began to play and eventually became far more open to the public, and now many people are playing it. So, how could you play yourself if you're interested? Disc golf is a very simple game fundamentally. It ties similar roots back to golf. Your goal is to throw a frisbee a long distance, trying to get it into the basket while maintaining the least amount of throws or the lowest par. Par is set on each course, and your goal is to shoot under, but as long as you get lower than the first or the last person, then you're doing well. Disc golf essentially allows you to compete against yourself, others, and the course, trying to achieve a personal best with yourself, trying to get as low a score as you possibly can, which is what makes it fun. Similarly, you can play it outside, which is one of my favorite aspects. You can enjoy the sunny weather. Wind will mess you up. Rain can mess up your throws, but it's all good and fun when you're spending time outside, especially competing with others. It allows you to throw discs out in the open, and you can traverse the wilderness as you like, eventually getting good enough to where you can control your disc flight or disc path. Disc path is a very cool thing with disc golf, is how you can manually control the way the disc will fly by throwing different discs at different angles, different speeds, and it allows for a lot of skill expression within the game. But as long as you have your own discs, you can throw them into the holes. You can play disc golf. Just respect the outdoors, take care of yourself, and enjoy the game. So, disc golf is one of my favorite personal sports. I believe that the history is fascinating, dating all the way back to ancient Greece, with Steadyhead Edric inventing the disc golf basket as we know today, disc golf development or frisbee development throughout the years to modern day standards, which allow for impressive skills, um, to the PDGA growing the sport to the point where it is now that many people play. And finally, that I think it's just a very intuitive game to play, very fun, and allows for you to get better really easily. And there's a lot of room for skill expression and growth. I think disc golf is just an incredible sport, and I think more people should play it. And hopefully I got you interested in playing it. Disc golf to me is something very special, and I hope you can find some joy in it as well. Thank you.